Right, hello then everybody, welcome back to The Golden Sky. Today it is Monday the 22nd of September 2025. I'm Tom, and I must confess before we start this video, it is actually Sunday night right now for me. So if anything has happened in the world of football from Sunday night until Monday morning when you guys can see this, I don't know about it, but I wanted to record this. I've got a lot coming up this week. It's a busy week for me, and I wanted to get this video made in time to publish on Monday before the game on Tuesday when we'll have the ratings for the Southampton game. So a lot going on, but in today's video, we're going to look at the tactics against Everton. As always, I've got pictures to go through, so I'll tell you what I think. So I'll just analyse the game a little bit. That's kind of what we do after every game this season. So far, we're going to keep it going with this one against Everton. And then also want to talk a little bit about Arsenal City that just finished a few hours ago. And sort of what it means for us and kind of what I think about the game generally. Yes, before we get into all of that, if you are here on YouTube today, thank you very much for joining me. Please do like the video and comment away and drop a subscribe to the channel down below as well. We are trying to get to 200 subscribers, so let's get to 150 first of all and get 3/4 of the way there. So really would appreciate if you would do that down below. Go and do it right now and then enjoy the rest of the video with me right here as a subscriber. And if you're here on the podcast as well, if you're just listening to me rather than looking at my face today, thank you very much. As always, I really appreciate you all as well. 5-star ratings and reviews on whatever platform you choose to listen on. So what should we do first? I want to talk about Arsenal v City first, be that it just finished. We'll do a couple minutes on this. Just to give my thoughts on kind of where we are after 5 games, a little bit of a recap, a little bit of my thoughts on Arsenal and City, be that they will be our biggest rivals this year. So, yeah, the game finished. I mean, Arsenal getting pelters already and getting a lot of criticism, and I agree with it on the team selection. I mean, Arteta is like the most defensive manager of all time, maybe. He has 4 centre-backs across the back again. I don't care what you tell me. Calafiori and Timber are both centre backs. Maybe Timber is a right back nowadays, but he was centre back once, so it's at least 3.5 centre backs. And then there's 3 DMs with Rice, Zubimendi, and Marino playing in the middle. So very defensive setup from Arsenal again. They wasted a lot of the game in doing that until they brought their attacking players on. They nicked the goal at the end to equalise. They celebrate, as always, like they've won the World Cup. They've also got a drum. I don't know how long they've had this drum for. I've never noticed it before watching Arsenal. But they've got a drum at the Emirates now. That's embarrassing. Let's just make that clear. That is embarrassing. If someone bought a drum to Anfield, someone would punch a hole in it and send you home with your drum kit with no drum bit. You'd just be hitting air. It's embarrassing. What have they got a drum for? To steal everyone's chance with a drum beat now? I mean, come on. What are we doing? What are we doing, Arsenal? They're so small time. It's unbelievable. And I feel bad for the fans. And there'll be plenty of them who are sat in the Emirates there thinking, why have we got a drum? We are not River Plate. We are not Boca Juniors. We are not Portsmouth with the bell. Like, what is going on? So they've got a drum. My thoughts on watching Arsenal, I've watched every single game they've played so far this season. I've also watched all of City's games so far this season, I think. Pretty sure I have. We'll do Arsenal first. I mean, yeah, they're too defensive. It's clear. I said this to my dad watching the game. I don't think if Arsenal play the way that they are playing, that they really are a threat to win the league. You don't win league titles playing such pragmatic defensive football. It just doesn't exist in England. I think they'll be successful. They've got a really good defense and they play a lot of defenders, so you know they won't concede many goals, which by all accounts will then win them a lot of games. They've only conceded 2 goals in 5 games so far. One was Szoboszlai's free kick and the other was a bit of Haaland brilliance, so they can defend well, but if they set up the way they do, they will lose games, and they will draw games where they should be winning. They drew a lot last year, and that's going to be their problem again. I just don't see it. They have Gyökeres up front now. He's meant to be the Lord and Saviour. I do not rate Gyökeres at all after watching him for 5 games. Nothing against him personally, of course, but he looks... I was calling him Bob the Builder when we played him. When we played Arsenal, he does look like a builder out there, like he's in his work pants and his Timberlands, and he's got like bricks down his in his pockets and cement in his undies or something. And I just do not think he looks good. Look, he's going to score goals because he's on penalties and he's playing up front for Arsenal. They'll generate him a lot of chances, especially when they play with small teams. It's no coincidence that's who he's scored his 3 goals against so far, is Forest and Leeds at home. He's going to score goals against those. It's what he did in Portugal. He feasted against the lesser teams, didn't score against the good teams. I just don't think he looks very good to me, personally. I'm not scared of him at all. And then Madueke, I mean, he's been playing while Saka's been injured. Let's make it clear, he's a backup to Saka. That's why they bought him. But he's been getting some of the most irrational praise I've ever seen in my life by the media. He must be the only player ever to have a purple patch without getting a goal or an assist. It's incredible, honestly. He played a half a decent game against Andorra, and the world's gone mad. He takes on his man. He can beat his man. He's good at that. But end product's not there. It wasn't there at Chelsea. I'm not scared of Madueke. Let's put it that way. Martinelli is saving them at the minute, and they want him out. They want to get rid of Martinelli and play Eze on the left wing. He didn't even start today. So for me, Arsenal have a lot to work out. We're 5 points ahead of them now after 5 games. And remember, everyone, we're shit. Remember that. Remember, everyone tells us that we're bad. Just remember that when we're 5 points clear after 5 games of Arsenal, who are everyone's favourites, and 8 points clear of City, who are the best team since football was invented, if you'd listen to City fans talk about Man City. So let's talk about City. Like, I think they're in a strange phase, City. I don't think that people have written them off quite badly. I certainly haven't done that. I think they could definitely win the league this year. People don't think their team's that good. I think it is good. I think they do have a good team. They're in a bit of a weird phase, and what I mean by that is that there's a lot of different things happening at City. If you think of City's teams over the years, you think of like the Stonewall players in their team. You think Ederson. You think maybe John Stones. He's been there for a long, long time. You think De Bruyne. You think Rodri/Fernandinho, and then you think Haaland or, Aguero, that kind of striker. That's sort of the spine of the team. Haaland's still there, obviously. De Bruyne gone. They will never replace De Bruyne. He was one of the best players in the Premier League ever. They will never replace him. John Stones is permanently injured and isn't like setting the world on fire anyway, in my opinion, these days anymore. And they've replaced Ederson with Donnarumma. Now, the discourse about Donnarumma has been largely negative, and I actually completely disagree with that. People seem to forget nowadays, the first thing you want your goalkeeper to do is save the ball. He's amazing at saving the ball. Playing with your feet is secondary, and majorly secondary. It's not like a small step down in importance. It's a big step down. Look at, United were crying out for Onana to sign because they thought he could use his feet. Look, it turned out he didn't have feet or hands as a goalkeeper. They bought the first ever goalkeeper with no limbs, but they failed to factor in the fact that he doesn't save the ball, and it cost them for years, right? Donnarumma saves the ball a lot. I think he's already shown how good and valuable he can be for Man City. So I get that signing. They want to improve there. The defense is shaky to me. Like, the fullbacks are so weird. They've got Kusanov at right back a lot. He's a centre back, and a young centre back who is inconsistent anyway. Or Rico Lewis, who can't defend, and Mateus Nunes, who is a centre mid. It's weird. Centre backs are okay, and then your left back, it's like Nori sometimes, who I do like. I think he's quite good. Or Gvardiol, I think is good as well. But it's just a bit inconsistent. And then the midfield, like Rodri's back from his ACL. I'm sure he'll reach a good level this season. It might take him a little while to get there. Reinders looks like a great signing. I really liked Reinders at Milan last year as well. I've caught quite a lot of games of Milan's last year, and was really impressed with Reinders. He had a great season for Milan, which is why City bought him. And then Haaland, he's absolutely amazing. He's amazing. Like, I'm not saying that lightly. He is unbelievably good, but he needs help for me. If they lost Haaland, then they're in big trouble because their wingers don't contribute goals really anymore. They need Foden to hit top form. They really need Foden to hit top form. Doku played really well today, I thought, against Arsenal, but he's not really a 10-15 goal scoring winger every year. He just isn't in the Premier League, not at this stage of his career. they're all funneling towards Haaland, and I just think that reliance is not really Man City's way of playing. I just think they're easy to get at as a team. They don't have that fear factor about them that they did have for a while, where they'd already beat teams before they'd even started the game. They're going to be right up there, but they don't look. I mean, 8 points clear after 5 games is just, it's a massive amount already. So you can see the problems that they have. So all that said, basically Liverpool are going to win the league, right? I mean, it's not that simple, of course. Liverpool ourselves, I think we can all agree as Liverpool fans, if we truly be honest, we haven't been scintillating to start the season. We haven't been firing on all cylinders. Everton was an example of this, and we'll look at Everton Everton in a second and some clips from the game, but I want to give you some stats from the game as well before we do so. Well, one stat in particular that kind of highlights that that game and how it was, and that's in the first half of the game, Liverpool won 55% of the duels on in the whole game in the first half. So all the duels, these are ground duels, not aerial duels. So we're winning the ball most of the time. It's relatively even, but we're winning the ball more often than we're not. So we're, the dominant side, and we were in the first half, especially for the first half an hour. And then in the second half, it drops to 43% of the duels won in the second half. Took these numbers from Opta, so that's the credit for the stats there. Thank you, Opta. 43%, so it's a 12% drop off in dual win percentage, and Everton, I think, absolutely were good value for that. They were winning everything, and we'll look at that in a little second on the clips and maybe on the board as well. So it's clear we are winning games in spells, or winning games in moments, where the last minute winners, for example, we're going 2-0 up in a matter of moments and then losing the lead because we drop off in our quality of performance. We just need to put it together. But the important thing is we've won all our games. That's the importance. Arsenal and Man City have not. That's the only thing that matters right this second. So, with all that said, I think it was a great result for Liverpool, the draw today. City winning would have been great, and it also would have been funny, because if you're anything like me, I love watching all those Arsenal fan reactions after. Lee Gunner, if you ever watch one of my videos, you have provided me hours of entertainment, so thank you. Thank you, Lee Gunner, for your videos, my friend. And also Turkish, another one, top channel to watch when Arsenal lose. So yes, the draw is good for Liverpool in actual league position. Both teams dropping points, and we've still got that sort of 2-game buffer. Rather than if Arsenal won, they'd only be 3 points behind us, and we've only got a 1-game buffer. And guys, it's very early in the season. There is no title race yet. That does not exist until the new year. But to be in a title race in the new year when it starts, you have to be at the top of the table or there and thereabouts. So if City are 8 points off after 5 games, they have work to do to be, catching us up already. We're at the top. We couldn't be any better off, even without us playing that well. So, yes, that is sort of the situation. My thoughts on the Arsenal City game. Let me know what you think of the first 5 games of the season. I think our MVP, to use a sort of basketball American sports term there, the most valuable player of the season so far for Liverpool is probably Dominic Szoboszlai. I think the only one I would put amongst him to rival him really is Virgil van Dijk. I think those two have clearly been our best 2 players. I just say Szoboszlai because it's sort of more unexpected how good he's been. Van Dijk is just levels, we know that. So yeah, let me know what your little reviews are of Arsenal, City and Liverpool in the comments below. I would really be interested to know what you guys think and how threatened you feel from those teams, or how you feel about Liverpool. But what we are actually here today in the title of the video, and hopefully the reason why you did click the video today as well, is to see what I thought of the Everton game. So let's take a look at some photos of the game and see what I thought of what happened. Let's go do that right now. Okay, so wanted to start here with where the game really kicked into gear, and that is with Ryan Gravenberch's goal. So up until this point, not a lot had really been happening, and then Liverpool just kicked it into gear. And I wanted to look at this particular movement and highlight this player here, Connor Bradley, because I thought he was fantastic against Everton. I thought he was actually our man of the match, which is ironic because a lot of people thought Grealish was the best player on the pitch. I thought Bradley did a really good job against him, even though I agree Grealish was very good in this game as well. And this run from Bradley is very clever. I talked about in the last game that Liverpool played in that Frimpong created goals by running around the back of Salah. It was the Atletico Madrid game. We were able to move Salah inside and play from overlapping runs. But I've also said this season, our tactic is to do underlapping runs from our fullbacks. And the whole reason for Bradley's underlapping run here, so he's come from sort of this, oops, excuse me, that's behind my head. Let's do it here. He's come from sort of this position anyway, sort of back here like this. And he's ran this way. And that's where he's going to continue to run. And what that does, he is not interested here in getting the ball. There is absolutely no desire for Conor Bradley to get the ball from Szoboszlai where it is. The reason why he's making this run is to create this passing lane to Mo Salah, because we need to get the ball to Salah more often. I think we haven't done that enough, and in the last few games there's been a real emphasis on it, and I think we've seen the fruits of our labour from doing so. So the reason why he makes this run, if Conor Bradley is stood here, Jack Grealish can stand here, okay? Because he can mark him. And then Szoboszlai can't possibly pass this ball to Salah because Grealish is in the way. So it's a very clever piece of movement where he just wants to run in this direction and basically allow Szoboszlai to pass the ball in the space. So that's what happens. And now what we see is Grealish is now a bit confused. Grealish is not a player who wants to sit back and defend. He's played for Man City, they have all the ball, and at Villa, he didn't do it either. He doesn't want to be back here defending his own box. This is not his game, and he's already telling Michael Keane, look, Michael Keane, you can see him pointing, you get this guy here. Come across, help me, I don't want to run back in here, and you mark Conor Bradley. So Michael Keane sees the danger because Salah can slot this ball down here. Bradley can get onto it and maybe whip a cross in. This is all about Conor Bradley, okay? But what that does, Conor Bradley's run now that we've got Salah the ball, is it's going to create this big gap right here in between the centre-backs. Tarkowski is occupied with Ekitike. You can see he's having a little look over his shoulder at Ekitike right now, who's in the perfect position. And what we see is Ryan Gravenberch, who's about to score a brilliant goal. So it's interesting because both him and Slot said in the post-match interviews, I'm talking about Gravenberch, that he has been allowed this season a little change in our system to go further forward. He's already scored 2 Premier League goals this season. He scored none last year. If he was playing as a traditional number 6, as a lot of teams play with, and a lot of fans think Liverpool play with, he would be stood here. Okay? He would be stood here. He would have no interest in going forward. This is where Fabinho used to stand for us. But no, he's allowed to join the attack, and it makes us really free-flowing. We've done a good job of keeping a balance. We've got, Szoboszlai and McAllister keeping that sort of rest defence position, not all going too gung-ho. It's a good balance, but a great run from Gravenberch into this gap that's being created by Conor Bradley. It's really unselfish movement from Bradley. Obviously, Salah has the quality to do what Salah does. Grealish is in absolutely no man's land. He's not marking Salah. He's not marking Bradley. He's just back because he's tracked Bradley to a certain point and then gone, oh, shit, I don't want to be back here. I'll just stand here. Mykolenko's not close enough, but it's hard to be too close to Salah. Michael Keane's been dragged out of his position. If Bradley hadn't made this run, Michael Keane would just be here, like this, and we wouldn't be able to get this ball through. And Tarkowski has now spotted the danger. He's seen this pass coming over from Salah. It's coming over like this, obviously, as we know. Tarkowski's spotted the danger. You can see he's moving over. Idrissa Gueye is telling him also, I've lost Gravenberch. He's pointing. I've lost him. Tarko, you need to go across. Brilliant ball from Salah. Perfectly weighted. You can see Tarkowski's too late. Michael Keane's nowhere near it. And, I mean, the finish is unbelievable. He lobs little T-Rex in the net, lobs him. It's a brilliant, brilliant finish. And it's a brilliant goal. But it's all created in subtle movements by Conor Bradley and Ryan Gravenberch. Mostly Bradley's unselfish running to get Salah the ball and then create the space. And that's just the things that we look at here to sort of point out not just the brilliance of the goal, but also the bit that'll go unnoticed, which is Bradley's movement. And you can kind of see it here on this nice aerial angle of the goal. This is the goal. And you see Everton at first are set up really good. They've got the 4-4-2 with the 4 at the back. I've drawn that a bit big there. And then they've got the 4 in the middle, sort of, with Dewsbury Hall a little bit advanced there. But they're set up fine, If Bradley stayed where he is here, you can see they can't get the ball to Salah, who wants it. He's asking for it, but they can't get it to him. But he just makes this run. We showed it. He just runs away from the ball, so then Szoboszlai can pass it to Salah. It's exactly what happens. And you see where he is now. And Grealish, again, we can see him pointing. He's telling Michael Keane, come on, you've got to come and mark this. And you can see Michael Keane's coming across as well. So, like I said, that's how the goal was created. And I hope this aerial view sort of gives a better view of it, where Gravenberch is able to take advantage of that space. Now you can see Idrissa Gueye doing exactly the same thing, pointing, telling, I have lost Gravenberch. They're all confused. And now look at the formation of Everton. I know I'm kind of in the way, but you know, they've got the defence is still fine, but look at the gap between Tarko and Keane. It's huge. And midfield now, that was a nice flat back four, is all over the place. Grealish isn't even on the screen. So it's just good movement from Liverpool. Next one then, another sort of chance that we make. So Szoboszlai has the ball. He was excellent in this game again. And you can see Ekitike already making a really good run. You know, again, good centre forward play from Ekitike. We're going to try and get the ball to Mo Salah again. Mo Salah does get on the ball, able to come inside. And I just wanted to put this in because we were a little bit wasteful at certain points in this game. But the point is, when we get the ball to Salah, good things tend to happen. We get the ball to Salah. Now, here, I'm just thinking, could he lay this one back to Szoboszlai to have a shot, maybe? He tries to cross it to the back post, you know, where we've got runners, we've got big players. I just think he could maybe lay this one back. I just put this one in. It's what he does. He lays it back to Szoboszlai. So next one, another chance that Liverpool create in the game, and this is a transition for Liverpool, counter-attack sort of moment where we just win the ball and we go straight for the throat of Everton. We did a really good job of it in the first half. Again, we can see Salah is going to be involved, and Szoboszlai again, unbelievable how much he is driving Liverpool forward at the minute. Gives the ball to Salah, and then I've already drawn where this ball goes. It's going to go back to Szoboszlai here. Nice movement from Szoboszlai holding his run again away from Idrissa Gueye. Ball goes back to him and he tries to sort of hook it into the box. It doesn't quite work out and we don't create anything, but a nice move from Liverpool. Next one, another counter-attack. Salah doing Salah things. This is where he's literally Emil Heskey. It's unbelievable how good he is at this. The ball has just gone long from a clearance and he basically just destroys, I think this is Mikalenko here. He's just so strong and honestly his hold-up play is Emil Heskey caliber. He just holds him off, wins the ball, and Szoboszlai, again, no surprise, is the driving force for Liverpool as he always is at the minute. Picks the ball up, Salah's immediately on his bike, Szoboszlai as well. They drive forward. Conor Bradley's up with him. He's got amazing running power as well. And Salah again and Ekitike as well. And I just wanted to put this in. Look at the situation we're in, right? It's a 4v3, really, isn't it? We need to do better on our counter-attacks. This is why we aren't killing games off. We have chances in this game to do so, and we don't. This is only at 1-0, but look where we end up. So Salah gets the ball. Already you can see the attack sort of slowed down. But Salah now is going to try and hit this one to Ekitike. Now it's on. If he gets this ball over, then happy days. But for me, I wonder should he go back to Szoboszlai again in the same way that he just did on the attack prior, which I showed you. Excuse me, you've got all four Liverpool players in the picture wanting the ball. Bradley, Ekitike, Szoboszlai and Gakpo coming in. So, like I said, Salah decides to cross it, it gets blocked, and the ball goes up in the air, then it comes back down, and Cody Gakpo goes for the volley. Now, he needs to get this on target. It's plain and simple. It's a great chance. If he volleys this, you know, maybe it goes in, maybe it forces a save, but either way, he misses the ball completely, and Everton get away with it. I wanted to put it in just to show we're creating good chances, we're playing well, we need to finish them off whilst we have them, because as we've seen, we can have moments in games where we sort of take our foot off the pedal. So this is a bit of a warning sign for Liverpool where Grealish did some really good work on the left wing. You can see they sort of got right down the touchline. Grealish did a nice turn, got by Gravenberch and gets right to the edge of the box. And this is where I'm going to be critical of Alexis McAllister. Now, for me here, his job is to stop Dewsbury Hall. Right, that's it for me. Because Konate has to engage Grealish at a certain point, and Dewsbury Hall is left-footed. Everybody knows that. McAllister will know that as well. So where he's able to get to, where Grealish pops this ball through to him and he can have a shot on goal, it doesn't go in, but it could have done. McAllister has to stop this, and we're just going to go back one more. In this situation, this is fine for McAllister to be here. Now, he's not got the best legs in the world, McAllister. He's not the fastest runner, we know that, but he needs to already be on his bike to stop or at least match this run, because when Dewsbury Hall is here, he's nowhere near it, guys. He's nowhere even close. Dewsbury Hall gets the shot in, no problem. McAllister needs to be 2 yards closer here to maybe block the shot, in my opinion. And it was a warning sign for Liverpool when Everton started to sort of get into the game a little bit. But to give McAllister and the rest of the boys in the middle some credit again, we see a brilliant goal happen a few minutes later. And again, what do we see? Our two deepest midfielders are actually McAllister and Szoboszlai, with Gravenberch more advanced. We've got a real free-flowing sort of positional sense, but what we're always seeing at the minute, better than we did in the first few games of the season, is we have players holding their position, not going too far forward. So a nice play, McAllister chests it down to Sobo. Jusugay gets drawn to the ball, and then Szoboszlai just beats him with a nice little cushion ball back to McAllister. You can see we've just immediately bypassed the entire Everton's midfield. Already, James Garner is completely isolated and basically fucked. There's nothing he can do here to stop this, because if he goes to block this pass, McAllister can just run forward. It's brilliant play from these two, McAllister and Szoboszlai in the middle. Goes to Gravenberch, and look at Ekitike. This is brilliant centre-forward play. It really is. And we should give him a lot of credit, because if this was Isak, everyone would have been losing their minds. Don't forget, Ekitike is also a new signing. We have to give him credit when it comes. He's almost kind of been the shiny new toy effect to sort of wore off him already because we signed Isak, but I'm really excited about him. I think he looks brilliant, and he makes a great run, nice and early. Gravenberch finds him. You can see he's got the legs on both centre-backs already. He's ahead of them, but when he receives the ball, it's tight. Tarkowski's made a great recovery run. He's right there. His first touch has to be immaculate to set himself for that second touch before Tarkowski can block it. Now, I can tell you for a 100% fact, if this was Nunez, the first touch wouldn't have set himself for the shot in the way that it does here. It just wouldn't. There's no way. If it was Gyökeres, there's no hope. No way. First of all, he probably doesn't even get the ball because Arsenal don't pass the ball forwards. But it's brilliant with Ekitike, and I wanted to put it in. And the finish, nutmegs Pickford, the ball ends up in the corner here. You can just about see it there. And it's 2-0, and things were looking really rosy at that point, weren't they? I mean, they were looking like we were going to go and win 4-5-0. It's looked like that in most of our games we've played this season. It doesn't turn out that way. So, right on half-time, Grealish, again, left wing, he's causing issues, and he did cause us issues, okay? Bradley's engaging him nice and tight, but again, I'm going to be critical here of McAllister and Gravenberch. This one, Gravenberch in particular. He has got Dewsbury Hall. He's on the blind side. He needs to match his run. So Grealish plays the ball to Dewsbury Hall. Gravenberch, you can see the distance. He's not tracked him well enough. But it's fine. That happens in a game. I don't expect him to have eyes in the back of his head. It happens. That's why we have defenders. Konate comes across, does a good job. But now McAllister is the problem. He's ball watching. Plain and simple, guys. He's ball watching. He needs to have a look over his shoulder and see where the danger is. Okay? And the danger, where the ball goes, is Idrissa Gueye. It's mad that Idrissa Gueye becomes dangerous, and he scored in this game, and this is an exact reason why he scored. We had a warning sign right before it. So, Dewsbury Hall can't really do anything here apart from pull it back, because if he goes across the face, Konate blocks it, and Van Dijk's really tight to Beto, so he's probably there. Perkins is doing a good job on Illerman. You can see he's ready to sort of jump in front of him and stop him from getting the ball. But McAllister just ball watches, and you see the ball ends up with Idrissa Gueye. McAllister's just trotted back into his box. He's by the penalty spot now. Look where he is here. He's going to end up in this position because he just keeps running back. He needs to have a little look. I know there's lots of lines on the pitch right now, and look where he can get to stop this, because he's not close enough to block the shot. Now, this is on Idrissa Gueye's left foot, and he's not a great shooter of the ball anyway. He scuffs it, and Alisson saves it easily, but it's just a warning. And when you consider what happened, it's a big warning. So, we go to the second half now. Admittedly, I'll be honest, there isn't a lot to show from the second half, because whilst Everton were on top, Liverpool did a really good job of not giving them a lot of chances. I talked about the duels that we lost. We didn't actually give up a lot of chances, except the one we concede. even after that, we were probably the better side, probably, on the balance of chances created especially. And this is a prime example, a counter-attack, and where we don't take our chances again. So we defend well, we break, we get it to Gakpo. Gakpo goes forward, and what he tries is a first-time pass with his left foot around to Ekitike. I just don't think he needs to do this. Hindsight's 2020, of course. I think if he just controls this ball and runs, Michael Keane can't come and tackle him because Michael Keane has to run back. He can't engage him here. He knows that. Kirkis is going to get round him. That's going to cause a massive problem for Michael Keane because now he knows he has to maybe mark this run. Now, if he gets it through to Ekitike, okay, yeah, we might be one-on-one, but I think if he just runs along, keeps running, forces Tarkowski and Keane back, look, Kirkis is there, Szoboszlai's going to have legs on Garner, Salah's completely free over on this left side. If he just keeps going, he could slot Salah in, Ekitike might get there, Kirkis might get around him, he tries to pass, Michael Keane blocks it, it comes back to him, and now look, all of Everton's team is back, basically. Except Salah is still in. That's how in he was over on the right-hand side. So he plays a brilliant pass this time. Salah gets it, takes a brilliant first touch, cut inside Mykolenko. But Tarkowski, good defending. You can see the chance has gone. They block it. Well, they don't actually block it, but they affect the shot, and Salah tamely hits it to Pickford. And it's good defending from Everton to get back, but it's just wasteful from Liverpool. We could have scored here. This would have been 3-0 and kills the game. We haven't gone up 3-0 yet, despite going up 2-0 in loads and loads of games this season. I think 4 different games have gone up 2-0. This is the problem we're having. Now, Grealish, one-on-one against Bradley again, and he kept getting one-on-one, and this time he had a bit of success. The situation we're in, we're fine here. This is absolutely fine. We're marking up. Everything looks good. But Grealish is very talented and very good one-on-one. He gets right to the byline. This is what he's been doing. I showed it in the preview. This is exactly what they do. They get Grealish one-on-one. He gets to the byline. They cross the ball in, and Beto and Iliman and Jai crash the box. This is exactly what we talked about in the preview, how they score the goals, and that's what happens here. He comes in, and again, what do we see? Very, very similar to the warning sign earlier. Alexis McAllister is back in the box, our deepest midfielder. And look who's entering the box, Idrissa Gueye. McAllister, again, ball watching for me. I understand he has to look to see what Grealish is going to do, but he needs to be checking over his shoulder at where the danger is. Idrissa Gueye is the danger, okay? Kirkes can't reach the header. Iliman gets it. It's a great pass to set it back to Idrissa Gueye, but McAllister is nowhere here, and Gravenberch also, I mean, not so much Gravenberch's fault because he's more advanced. McAllister, I think, has to be closer to Idrissa Gueye because by the time he gets the ball, he's close, but not close enough, and Idrissa Gueye can hit the ball in the back of the net. And it caused a nervy last 20, 25 minutes for us. I mean, look at Kirkes. The guy's jumped so high, he's gone upside down, for God's sake. So I just think McAllister needs to just tune in a little bit more to the game because, this nearly cost us, but it is what it is. We won, so I'm not going to be too harsh on him. This is another angle where you can see, I just think Gravenberch also guilty of it. Don't want to let him off the hook. He has to be aware. Can he get back in? Can he get across? But I think this is McAllister's problem because here he's not really doing anything. He's not really stopping Beto from getting the ball. That's going to be Van Dijk. He's just there really for second balls. But I think if he just switches on to this area, then he might have had a better chance of stopping the goal. So another counter-attack, and this is actually going to be the last clip that I actually show from the game. There wasn't, like I said, loads and loads to talk about during the game. So during the second half, especially after the goal, we shut up shop. But we did have a counter-attack, so Isak's on now, makes a good tackle on the edge of his own box. That's what we bought him for, his defensive work. I'm obviously kidding. He makes the tackle, we can break. We get the ball to Szoboszlai, we're away. Now, again, look at the numbers we have. Look at this. This is danger for Everton. Szoboszlai moves it to Salah. Now, we're pretty much 4-on-4 with this sort of half of the pitch. But Szoboszlai is going to absolutely destroy Idrissa Gueye for pace because he's already trying to foul him. And Tarkowski's coming back. Salah has got the legs on him. So we actually play this one pretty well, I think. Salah waits for the right time, and he's very good at this. Salah, he's the best creator in our team historically for his assist numbers. So does the right thing, plays it to Wirtz. I've actually heard this one might have been offside, but it doesn't look offside to me, personally, but it is what it is. We don't score anyway. Salah plays Wirtz the ball. He chops inside really nicely. He sells Mykolenko a dream, cuts inside, but again, similar to Salah's one, Tarkowski is back and makes the tackle. His touch was a little bit heavy. He comes back to make the tackle. And I just think, like, these are the moments we've got to be ruthless. We've got to finish the game off. This would have made it 3-1. End of the game once again. We don't get it. And it led to a nervy finish. So, guys, that is going to be it for today's video. I hope that you did enjoy. We looked at some of the tactics Liverpool employed against Everton, some pictures, some analysis from the game, and also just had a little chat about Arsenal and City, which I hope you did enjoy as well. And remember to let me know what you think about those two and Liverpool in the comments below. Also, drop a like on the video if you did enjoy it. Let's just try and get it out to more people, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. I would really, really appreciate it. Listen, I've got a really busy week coming up, but lots of videos coming up for you as well. So we'll be back on Tuesday, which will be tomorrow for you all now, for the match ratings against Southampton. I have an exam on Tuesday, hence why this video is being pre-recorded, because Monday night is going to be a busy night for me prepping for that. And then we'll obviously be back with the normal stuff, the sort of usual after-game content, and ahead of the weekend's game against Palace as well from that point. But I hope you did enjoy today's video. I hope you did enjoy your weekends and enjoyed the football. Again, comment away on Arsenal, City and Liverpool, and I hope you did enjoy the video. Have I said that enough yet? Who knows? Right, guys, that is it for me today. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you all for the match ratings in Southampton on Tuesday night. Thanks, guys. Goodbye.